What's up, family? Happy to see y'all again. If you're new, welcome. If y'all been on this journey with me, then as promised, we're back again with another video. And it's starting to feel like an obligation to create these videos. Not an obligation that I don't like, but it feels like something that I have to look forward to. And I like that connection. I like the consistency and how it feels to know what you have to do in a day. You know, even though you don't know how things would play out within that day, knowing what you have to do, accomplishing that, and balancing out the parts that you don't know, but the parts that you do know, and actually creating that and following through with that. So it's beautiful that I led with that because that was actually more of the subject matter that I wanted to talk about. In particular, you know, it's a full moon in Libra, and it's very much on balance. It's very much on wants and desires and needs. Because sometimes you don't desire your needs, but like, for example, a woman, we need a form of feminine care and cleansing products. Whether you use pads or whatever you want to use, like the way that we've been accustomed, we need that at this point. So it's quite strange to even mention that because I'm at a beautiful park. This is actually one of the first parks I came to when I was in Texas, and to come here now is kind of like, wow, I see it in a different light because yesterday was Easter, which could have been such a great experience for so many people, but you can see the residue, and to me it's not pleasant. Like, I feel like that's one of the reasons why I want to highlight this branch and become that, because to be rooted and be an expression of what nature is, an earth angel, it's kind of disrespectful. That's why I don't like holidays a lot of times, because what it compels us to do is sometimes unbalanced and unnatural to what the alignment of this world needs. But beyond that fact, talking about myself personally and just like my desires and fulfillments and things that I want to accomplish in life, and balancing that with the life that I've been given, meaning, you know, I could choose only so much, but there's other things that come into correlation to build a form of bond. And that's why, even though I could say I'm a complete individual, it's so many things that was accumulated to make me this being that I am, whether it be people coming through with experiences, my bloodline, or the people that I meet on the street that compel me to feel or remember or do anything that is of, you know, recognition, like something to add into your memory list, something to add into the Akashic records. These are things that even when you die, this is going to follow you. This stuff does not dissipate. But regardless of that, when you're developing your signature on this earth, something that is eternal, even though people think it's something that's casual, is like waking up and doing the same thing. I don't live my life like that. So as a spiritual being, and I broke down what the spiritual being concept and mindsets might, like how that differentiates from other humans, or just humans that are more into a form of mind of like American dream, or just more 3D based. And 3D based mean like just more into the world, very much into holidays and you know, those things that make your heart, you know, when you was growing up, the things that they made to bring happiness and joy into a family of, you know, just those things that everyone need. But when they're creating a form of consciousness, American dream, if you want to use that, they have to put these formulas in there to give you that natural like that humanistic fulfillment. And that's what holidays are here for. When you can be doing this every day, you don't need a certain day to tell you when to spend money or to tell you when to get together. But that's what they wanted you to do. So now they regulate that, right? They regulate that with everything, and even to the money, and, you know, even down to you feeling like you need a job. But regardless of that, it's a form of lifestyle, and bringing that back to things that we need and the things that we want. So considering that, considering also that I'm in a aspect of realizing that what I want and my purpose is also two different things. So that's a spiritual enlightenment, when you realize, okay, you want things, you need things, and then your purpose is going to be this regardless, and whether you tap into it, then you evolve, and that's going to come with its own thing, or you don't tap into it and then you stay constant, and then it's still going to be a form of hell, a deeper form of hell. Because when you come here, people have a purpose, whether if it is for you to be the garbage person. The garbage person is needed in this park right now, and I could be that garbage person, but I'm not gonna promise you that I am. You know, I feel like my job is to play a role, to express, And me just saying this, I will hope will cause a form of motion that could lead to more cure, more people seeing, oh wow, this is what we're doing. So whoever was at this party, it seemed like it was a lot of people. If you watch my videos, you would be the one to clean up because you was accumulating to that. But also to me be who I am, if it came down to me having to clean up this park, I would. I cleaned up parks, I've cleaned up beaches, I've cleaned up houses, I cleaned up cars, I done cleaned up dishes and facilities, and I've cleaned up, you know, mall settings. You know, I clean up, but also cleaning up, it starts here, because if not, you're gonna turn into a slave cleaning up for people that don't even see that is a mess. And that's a whole other aspect. But we're balancing the purpose, then we're going to balance what we want. And what I want would be to be comfortable, to be happy, to not have to feel like a slave. And then what I need to be able to live comfortably and maintain this lifestyle that I see myself in. Okay, so to speak on myself first, I would just say listening to myself and incorporating a lot of nature, incorporating things like my video, and why I'm so happy to have this as something to do, it's a form of therapy, it's a form of evolution, and it's a form of investment in myself first. Anything that you're balancing, you have to invest in yourself first, because you are the root. Like this at the root, if this wasn't here, all that green up there, if this wasn't here, that would not be there. So anything that you want to sprout in this reality, you have to still be first. And don't let nobody tell you that it's otherwise. Please don't let nobody try to convince you that you have obligations. I don't care if you're a mama. I don't care if you're a child and your mama need help. Listen, you have to, even if it's 5, however much you want to devote to that, that's up to you. And then that's when you start to deal with selfishness or whatever. But that form of the root of where it came from, of you tending to yourself and your roots and your all of this, that has to be grounded. And it's deeper than just here. The part that's the roots that I keep on mentioning, even though this is the physical manifestation, the roots have to be strong, because if not, I don't care how big this is, all it takes is a little bit of wind. And I've seen this happen in Miami, because they plant trees fully matured in like city towns, and as soon as a hurricane comes, all the trees are slanted to the right, no roots. That roots is the stimulation in your mind. I spoke on that as well. And that's the differentiation behind spiritual people and also people that just live in their life. So when you have those roots growing and building, imagine what that tree is going to root into, or bloom into rather. So remember that. And also remember that when you come into elements of growing, imagine the obstacles that it takes, all these representation of challenges and overcoming. That is what these cracks are. And that's the art. That is the skin. My veins, that's in my blood. My tattoos. All these marks that are of me. And I'm still beautiful. And I just wanted to bring this down to a root of how everything is connected, but just remembering that what you devote yourself to is what really matters, and what branches off into all elements of what you even think you need. If you don't focus on what you are, then you will need nothing. But when you focus on what you are, and then you start to develop things that will make you feel more of yourself, or make you feel a lot more comfortable, or make you feel whatever you want. Some people say